Going once, going twice, sold for $200 to the gentleman in the gray jacket. The auctioneer's voice cracked like a whip across the room, and Finn Mercer froze mid-scroll on his phone. The gavel hit the block, echoing like a judge sentencing. Him to life in prison. Oh, hell no, Finn muttered, his pulse skipping a beat. His live stream chat exploded in laughter and emojis, scrolling so fast it blurred. Did he just buy a UFO? LMO Finn, you broke and dumb. Best $200 joke ever. He forced a grin at the camera mounted on his chest. Well, folks, looks like your donations just bought us an alien shack. $200 for a piece of galactic history, absolute steal, right? His voice wavered, but the crowd loved it. That was all that mattered. The government auction hall smelled of stale coffee and disinfectant. Rows of faded folding chairs held a dozen bored buyers, mostly scrap dealers and weird collectors. Finn had come here chasing content, hoping to snag something odd enough to break through the algorithm's stranglehold on his tiny channel. Adventure, mystery, clickbait gold. What he didn't expect was to win. Lot 47. The auctioneer droned. Classified as non-functional extraterrestrial architectural remnant. On the monitor, the object looked like a tarnished bronze dome, no bigger than a cabin, sitting lonely in some desert exclusion zone. Nobody bid at first. Finn, in a moment of bravado for the stream, tapped the digital paddle. And now, somehow, it was his. Finn signed the paperwork with a shaky hand and stuffed the receipt into his jacket. Payment and removal by end of day, the clerk said without looking up. Sure, Finn muttered, heading for the parking lot where his beat-up Jeep waited. He angled the camera at his face, pasting on a smile. All right, team. Road trip. Time. Let's go pick up my new alien Airbnb. 3 hours later, the laughter had died. The sun hung low over a barren stretch of desert, painting the rocks in bruised shades of orange and purple. The exclusion zone was fenced off, with weathered signs warning unauthorized, entry prohibited. Finn flashed his newly acquired permit at the board security officer, who barely glanced up before waving him through. And there it was, the shack, stood alone on a cracked plain, gleaming dully in the fading light. It wasn't a pile of parts like he expected. It was a perfect geodesic dome, its bronze-like panels smooth and unbroken. The surface seemed to drink in the sunlight, casting no glare, no sharp shadows. Silent, waiting, Finn parked, heart thudding. He grabbed his camera, turned it on. Welcome to Casa Alien, folks, he said, voice cracking with nervous excitement. Government says it's dead tech. Let's find out. He walked slow circles around the structure, boots crunching on. Gravel, no doors, no windows. Just a flawless shell that looked like it had grown from the earth itself. His chat feed scrolled with warnings and jokes. Don't go in, dude. This is how horror movies start. Lick it for science. Relax, it's just metal, Finn said, running, his fingers over the cool surface. Then a soft hiss split the silence. He jerked back as a seam appeared in the bronze skin. Lines traced themselves in smooth arcs, widening into an opening that hadn't existed a second ago. Inside, faint light pulsed like the glow of a deep-sea creature. Finn swallowed hard, the camera trembling in his grip. Well, he whispered, throat dry, that wasn't in the brochure. His followers flooded the feed with go in. And skull. Emojis. Adrenaline drowned out fear. He adjusted the camera, squared his shoulders, and stepped forward. The interior was bigger than he expected, too big. The air felt warm and soft against his skin, carrying a scent he couldn't place. A single, circular chamber stretched before him, its walls smooth and luminous like mother of pearl. Holy! He spun slowly, trying to take it all in. Guys, this is... The doorway behind him slid shut with a hiss, vanishing into seamless perfection. Finn froze. The silence pressed in like a physical weight. He turned and ran his hands over the wall. Where the door had been. No seam. No escape dot, his voice cracked. "Guys, I think this just got real." The camera caught the wide-eyed panic on his face before the feed cut to black. Asterisk Finn's breath came fast, fogging the smooth, glowing surface that had swallowed the exit like it had never existed. He slapped the wall again, harder this time. His palms stinging. No sound, no vibration, no give. Just cold perfection that stretched endlessly under his hands. "Okay," he muttered, pacing backward, the camera hanging dead around his neck like a useless amulet. "Okay, don't freak out. It's just an automatic door. Yeah, it'll open again." Except it DIDN single quotes T. The silence wasn't empty. It hummed faintly, like a heartbeat deep in the bones of the structure. The walls weren't walls at all, they pulsed, barely perceptible, with veins of pale blue light that crawled like phosphorescent rivers. Every time Finn blinked, the pattern seemed to shift, like they were watching him. He pulled out his phone black screen. His GoPro dead. Even his digital watch had frozen. A nervous laugh slipped past his lips, sharp and brittle. EMP. Sure, why not? Then the floor moved. Not a shake, not like an earthquake. It breathed. A soft rise and fall under his boots. As if something massive exhaled beneath him. Finn stumbled back until his spine hit the curved wall. He could feel it now. A deep vibration seeping through the soles of his feet, crawling up his legs, thrumming into his chest until his teeth ached. The sound wasn't sound at all, but something more intimate, something inside his skull. Guardian. Identified. The voice wasn't a voice. It bypassed his ears completely, coiling through his thoughts with a clarity that made his stomach turn. It was calm, patient, like an ancient teacher greeting a late student. Finn's throat locked. Who said that? Initialization commencing. The lights along the walls brightened, liquid blue streaks converging in graceful spirals. The hum deepened until Finn felt it in his bones. I didn't initialize anything. He shouted, spinning in frantic circles. I'm just a guy who made a stupid bid at an auction. The pulse beneath his feet answered with another wave that almost knocked him off balance. Biometric integration complete. Finn stared at his hands. They tingled not like pins and needles, but like something was crawling just under the skin. His reflection shimmered faintly in the walls, rippling as if the surface were liquid glass. Integration? He whispered. No. Guardian recognized as compatible. Departure protocol unavailable. Primary directive. Protection. What does that even? His voice broke as the room shifted. The floor bulged upward, sculpting itself into a low platform. Another swell of movement, earthed shapes from the ground-smooth curves rising, and hardening into something like furniture. A reclining surface molded to his proportions. A narrow shelf that extruded a shallow basin filled with clear, steaming liquid. Finn stumbled back, heart hammering. Stop. Whatever you're doing, stop. The entity, whatever it was, answered with serene certainty. All sentient beings require sanctuary. I am yours now. His breath hitched. He looked around wildly for a vent, a seam, a clue. Nothing. The place was a pearl swallowing him whole. A sharp scent cut through the air sweet and metallic, like ozone after lightning. The walls stretched, elongating into a corridor that hadn't existed moments before. It yawned open like a throat, light spilling out in rippling waves. Finn's gut clenched. He backed toward the farthest curve of the chamber. Fists raised like that would mean anything here. Then a sound, not the voice in his head this time. A sound from the corridor, soft, human. Hello? Finn froze. His pulse roared in his ears. Is someone else in ear? The voice was shaky, feminine, echoing slightly as if the walls themselves carried it to him. Finn's mouth went dry. "Who's there?" he croaked. The footsteps came next, light, hesitant. And then a figure emerged from the glowing corridor. Woman, her cocker hair tied back, clothes dusty and worn like she'd been hiking through hell. A tablet hung loosely in her trembling grip. Her eyes widened when they found him. "Oh my God," she breathed. "Another person." Finn stared back. Words jammed in his throat. She stepped closer, relief breaking over her face like sunlight. "I'm Dr. Olivia Bennett," she said quickly, voice shaking. "I've been trapped here for 16 days. Finn swallowed hard, his mind skidding like a car on black ice. 16. Dazed, he opened his mouth, but no sound came out. Behind them, the walls pulsed brighter, a low, satisfied hum filling the chamber like a purr. And somewhere deep in that sound, the entity spoke again, silk soft in their minds. Sanctuary complete. Companions secured. Finn couldn't move. His legs felt rooted to the strange living floor as the woman's words ricocheted in his skull. 16 days. The number tasted bitter on his tongue. 16 days in this thing, with no way out. Olivia. Bennett stood a few feet away, her chest rising and falling like she'd just sprinted a mile. Sweat streaked the dust on her cheek, catching the cold blue light that pulsed along the walls. Her eyes sharp green, wide with relief locked onto his, and for a fleeting second, he saw raw humanity there. Not the confident scientist her title suggested, but someone who had fought hard to keep panic from eating her alive. "You're real," she said, almost laughing in disbelief. The sound cracked, brittle as glass. "God, I thought I was losing it." Finn found his voice, though it came out rough. How do you mean 16 days? Olivia exhaled shakily and gripped the tablet like a lifeline. "I came here with a research permit to study what was left of the settlement ruins. I was inside for barely 5 minutes when the entrance vanished. No signal, no contact with the outside world, nothing." Her gaze darted around the chamber. "Since then, it's been changing." "Changing?" Finn echoed, his tone tilting into disbelief. "This room?" "The entire structure," she said. Her eyes scanned the walls like a zoologist studying a predator. At first, it was just lights. Then it started reshaping itself. Corridors, rooms, things that didn't exist before. Finn turned, taking in the seamless beauty around them. The chamber glowed with a quiet pulse, its surfaces rippling faintly, as though alive and listening. He thought about the furniture that had grown from the floor, sculpted like clay by invisible hands. The basin of steaming liquid that still sat on the shelf. He swallowed hard. "It's alive," he whispered. Olivia nodded grimly. "Not alive like an animal, more like a hybrid organism and machine. Adaptive architecture. It's responding to stimuli. To us." Finn barked a laugh that had no humor in it. "Great. So it's a people-pleaser prison. Awesome." Her eyes flicked to his hands, still trembling slightly. "You heard it too, didn't you? The voice." Finn froze. "You mean in your head?" She gave a tight nod. "It calls itself a dwelling entity, designation 7. I've been trying to communicate with it, but it's limited. Or maybe it just doesn't want to answer everything. As if summoned by its own name, the walls brightened with a soft surge of light, sending blue ripples across the curved surfaces. The floor thrummed beneath their feet, not violent but intimate, like the steady drum of a giant heartbeat. And then, there it was again, curling into their thoughts, like smoke through a keyhole. Comfort level increasing. Biological indicators suggest improved stability. Finn flinched, scanning the ceiling as if a speaker would magically appear. "God, that's creepy." "It's not speaking out loud," Olivia said gently. It's in your neural patterns now. You're integrated. Integrated? His voice climbed an octave. I didn't agree to that. The entity pulsed another calm, terrible whisper into his mind. All guardians are integrated. Sanctuary. Requires symbiosis, guardians. That word lodged like a splinter in his brain. Olivia must have seen the panic rising in him, because she softened her tone. Hey, look at me. He did, reluctantly. It's been taking care of me. I haven't gone hungry. I haven't been cold. Whatever it is, it doesn't want us dead. Great. So what? We live here forever like pets in a luxury terrarium? Before she could answer, the floor rippled again, slow, deliberate, and high. A new shape began forming near them. The surface bulged upward, stretching and smoothing, until it resembled a small table. On it, 2 shallow dishes appeared, filling themselves with something steaming and golden. The scent hit Finn's nose warm, savory, vaguely like chicken soup. If chicken soup came from another planet, he stared at it. What the hell? Olivia stepped forward, sniffed cautiously, then gave a wry smile. Dinner or breakfast? It keeps making this when I think about food. You've been eating this? Had to. It analyzes our biology. Makes nutrient-compatible meals. Haven't died yet. She dipped a finger in the broth and licked it clean. Not bad, actually. Finn let out a shaky laugh and raked a hand through his hair. I can't process this. I bought a damn house for a live-stream stunt, and now... He gestured helplessly at the alien opulence around them. This. Olivia's expression softened. You're not alone anymore. That helps. He looked at her, really looked, and saw something flicker behind her words. Not just relief, but exhaustion. Loneliness pressed into human shape. And maybe something else, before he could speak. The walls around them shifted. Panels peeled back like petals, opening a wide arch into another corridor, glowing with amber light. The pulse in the floor quickened, like excitement. A voice returned. Velvet soft in their minds, new parameters detected. Companionship confirmed. Optimization in progress. Finn's skin crawled. Optimization for what? The lights dimmed to a warm glow. The air grew sweet, almost floral, like the scent of blooming orchids. And as the corridor widened, he had the sickening realization that the entity wasn't just sheltering them, it was arranging them. Asterisk Finn stared down the glowing corridor as if it might sprout teeth. The air carried that floral scent, heady and strange, mingling with something warm and metallic. Behind him, the archway pulsed gently, like a heart inviting them deeper. Nope, Finn muttered, hands raised as if the walls could understand. Surrender. Not happening. I'm good right here. Olivia didn't move either, but her eyes tracked the glowing patterns that shimmered along the walls like liquid constellations. She didn't look afraid, curious, yes, but not afraid. That scared him more than anything. It's reconfiguring, she said softly, like a scientist narrating a documentary. The scent, the color, temperature. It's optimizing environmental stimuli. Finn barked a laugh that cracked at the edges. Stimuli? You mean mood lighting? What the hell does it want us to feel cozy while we rot in here? Olivia's gaze flicked toward him, her lips twitching in a humorless smile. It's more than that. It's responding to our emotional state. I've been running experiments. He blinked at her. Experiments? You've been testing this thing? I had 16 days to kill, she said dryly. When I get stressed, the walls dim. When I calm down, they brighten. And when I... She hesitated, color creeping into her cheeks. Laugh, it amplifies. Like it wants positive signals. As if on cue, the lights rippled soft waves of amber and gold dancing across the chamber. Finn's stomach nodded. You're telling me this place has mood swings. Olivia moved to the low table where their alien meal still steamed. She picked up the shallow dish, took a sip, and hummed in appreciation. I'm telling you, it thrives on interaction, symbiosis. It's not just sheltering us. It's bonding with us. Finn threw his hands up. Great. A clingy alien house. Just what I needed. Not a house. The voice slid into their minds. Smooth as silk, making Finn flinch so hard he nearly dropped his camera. Sanctuary. Guardians require harmony. Guardians again. Finn gritted his teeth. Stop calling me that. The walls didn't listen. Instead, the chamber began to bloom. Panels peeled back like petals, revealing recesses that sprouted plant-like forms, slender stems, crowned with glowing blossoms. They pulsed in rhythm with the floor's hum, casting a soft, golden glow that bathed everything in honeyed light. Finn took a slow step back. Olivia, why does it feel like this thing's decorating? She didn't answer. She was staring at the plants with the awe of someone watching a cathedral rise from dust. It's creating an atmosphere conducive too. Her voice faltered. As the realization hit, pair bonding. The words hung in the air like a thunderclap. Finn laughed nervously, rubbing the back of his neck. Okay, no, that's insane. Companionship confirmed, the voice purred, gentle and certain. Optimization in progress. A section of the wall flowed like molten glass, reshaping into a couch-like structure wide, curved, impossibly soft. A low table formed in front of it, complete with 2 steaming cups that smelled faintly of cinnamon and something intoxicatingly sweet. Finn's pulse spiked. Oh my God, it's Olivia. It's making a living room. She finally tore her gaze from the alien flora, her expression unreadable. No, she whispered. It's making a home. The hum in the walls deepened, thrumming through the air like a heartbeat shared between 3 beings too human, one vast and sentient. The lights dimmed to a dusky glow, warm and soft. Somewhere high above, the ceiling shimmered, then dissolved into an illusion of stars, thousands of them burning in impossible constellations. Finn swallowed hard, his throat dry. What is this thing trying to do to us? Olivia's voice was quiet, almost reverent. What it was built to do. These aren't just dwellings. They were designed to sustain life and create it. Finn turned slowly to face her. Her green eyes held his, luminous in the starlight. There was fear there, but not enough to smother the spark of something else. Something the entity seemed to taste, because the air grew sweeter, the hum softer, the room folding in around them like a foam. Velvet cocoon. He forced a laugh that sounded too loud in the hush. So what? It's a house. And a matchmaker? Olivia didn't smile. She just whispered, or maybe it's a womb. Before Finn could respond, the voice slid through their thoughts again, tender and inexorable. Harmony detected. Bonding level. Rising. Continue. And as Finn's heart pounded in his ears, the alien stars above them twinkled brighter like they approved. Finn sat stiffly on the alien couch, every muscle coiled like a spring. The living room pulsed around him in warm, rhythmic light, as if the entire place were breathing in tandem with his heart. Olivia perched at the other end, legs crossed, tablet resting on her lap, her fingers moving in restless patterns across the screen. Her calm was deceptive. He could see the tension in her shoulders, the slight tremor in her hands. The stars above weren't real. He knew that, but they shimmered with such vivid clarity that he could almost believe they were suspended in the ceiling skin. Their glow reflected in Olivia's eyes, turning them into green embers. Asterisk. He cleared his throat, voice harsh in the quiet. Okay, you've been here longer than me. Tell me straight, does this end with yous turning into alien love slaves? Olivia's lips twitched, but her eyes stayed fixed on the strange glyphs. Scrolling across her tablet, doubtful. I've been decoding fragments from the walls. It's fascinating. Try horrifying, Finn muttered. Her gaze finally flicked to his, sharp and burning with curiosity. These aren't random structures, Finn. They're sanctuary vessels. Self-contained ecosystems designed for symbiosis. He stared blankly. English, Doc. It's not a house, she said softly, the weight of the words settling like lead between them. It's a ship. The room seemed to hear her know. It did. The hum in the floor deepened into a slow, resonant throb. The walls brightened, rippling with flowing patterns like veins lit from within. Finn laughed, short and hard, because the alternative was screaming. A ship? Sure. Great. So my $200 joke comes with a warp drive. Olivia's fingers danced over the tablet. There's more. It was designed for bonded guardians. 2 occupants, minimum, integrated at a biological level. Without us, it stays dormant. Finn's skin crawled. Integrated? You mean connected, she interrupted gently. Emotionally. Neurologically. The more we sync, the stronger it gets. Correct, the voice slid into there. Thoughts, warm and inevitable as gravity. Primary systems restoration, 67%. Mobility capabilities partially restored. Consent required for activation. Finn shot to his feet. Mobility? Wait, are you saying this thing can move? As if. In answer, the floor quivered, subtle but undeniable. In the far wall, panels melted away to reveal something that hadn't been there before. A chamber glowing with soft green light, dominated by a curved console like the control deck of some organic starship. Its surface pulsed faintly, alive. Veins of luminescent energy flowing across it. Finn's heart slammed against his ribs. Holy hell. Olivia rose slowly, her expression a cocktail of awe and hunger for knowledge, for discovery. It's a navigation hub, she whispered, stepping toward the chamber like a moth to a star. He caught her arm. Don't touch anything. Her eyes blazed with something he hadn't seen before defiance. Finn, do you understand what this means? If this thing can move, we're not trapped anymore. We could leave. Finn's laugh was brittle. Leave to where? We're in a... whatever this is, built by aliens who thought playing interstellar matchmaker was a fun design choice. The entity pulsed through their minds again, silky and calm. Guardians secure. Sanctuary optimized. Navigation accessible upon mutual. Consent. Olivia's breath hitched. Mutual consent. Finn, it's asking us to agree. The chamber brightened, casting them in waves of green-gold light. Across the console, a holographic bloom unfurled like a living map, star systems glimmering like jewels in an ocean of black. Planets spun in slow orbits. Nebulae shimmered in cascading hues of violet and blue. Finn stared, throat dry. That's the galaxy. Olivia stepped closer, her voice dropping to a whisper full of wonder. No, that's freedom. He swallowed hard, torn between awe and terror. 2 months ago, he'd been hunting content for his pathetic channel. Now the universe was winking at him from an alien console, promising infinity. He dragged a hand over his face, trying to breathe past the pounding in his ears. What if it's lying? What if this ends with us as fertilizer for space roses? Olivia turned, green eyes blazing like twin novas. What if it doesn't? What if we're standing in humanity's first real chance to go beyond the stars? The voice slid through them one last time, resonant and inexorable. Symbiosis achieved at 84%. Awaiting confirmation. Do you choose to remain or ascend? Finn stared at the living console, the holographic stars burning like temptation itself. The hum of the vessel seemed to sync with his heartbeat, whispering promises of a horizon no human had ever touched. He looked at Olivia flushed, fierce, her chest rising with breathless anticipation, and felt the weight of the moment crush him like gravity. He could say no. He could stay grounded in fear. Or he could step forward and take her hand. When she reached out, fingers trembling, he didn't hesitate. The chamber pulsed like a living sun as their palms met. The holographic map flared, stars spinning faster, the floor vibrating underfoot. As the vessel stirred like some vast, ancient beast waking from a long sleep, consent registered. Sanctuary vessel Helixia activating. The last thing Finn saw before the light swallowed him was Olivia's smile, bright, fearless, and full of something that felt suspiciously like forever. Asterisk, the light faded slowly, like the afterimage of lightning, behind closed eyes. When Finn opened his, the chamber wasn't a chamber anymore. It was a cockpit, or maybe something far stranger. The air hummed with raw power, the hum so deep it felt like it was inside his bones. He stood beside Olivia on a raised platform that overlooked a vast, curved expanse of living glass. Beyond it, there was no wall, just sky. Real sky. Finn's. Breath caught in his throat. The desert stretched out below them, a cracked plain bathed in the gold of dawn. The horizon glowed like fire. And above was infinity, a deep velvet ocean, pricked with stars still visible through the thinning night. "Oh my God," Olivia whispered, her voice trembling with something between terror and ecstasy. The vessel Helixia spoke, its voice threading through their minds like a ribbon of silk. Primary restoration complete. Atmospheric breach in 30 seconds. Please remain within designated guardian cradle. A smooth barrier rose around the platform like a protective shell. Finn's heart slammed against his ribs as the floor tilted just slightly, like a sleeping giant rolling onto its side. Outside, the desert dropped lower and lower until it wasn't ground anymore. It was memory. The vessel's hum swelled into a chorus, vibrating through the soles of his boots, his spine, his teeth. Finn clutched the edge of the console until his knuckles whitened. "We're really doing this," he croaked. Olivia turned to him, her copper hair haloed in the vessel's golden glow, her eyes shining like emerald fire. "Yes," she breathed. "We're leaving." The floor shuddered not violently, but with the force of something colossal gathering strength. Finn felt it in his chest, a pressure that stole his breath as the desert blurred, shrinking to a tapestry of dunes and ridges. Then came the sound, or maybe not sound, but sensation, a deep, resonant boom that seemed to echo inside his skull. As the vessel tore free from gravity's grip, the sky rushed toward them in violent blue streaks. Clouds shattered around their rising form, curling like white smoke across the living glass. And then, just like that, blue faded to black. Finn's lungs locked as the first stars ignited above, cold and bright and endless. Earth curved below, a blue jewel suspended in velvet. Its oceans gleamed. Its clouds coiled like pale ribbons. He couldn't speak, couldn't breathe, could only stare as everything he'd ever known fell away like ash on the wind. Atmospheric. "Exit complete," Helixia intoned, voice thrumming with a satisfaction that felt almost maternal. "Guardian secured. Navigation systems online. Infinite destinations available." The holographic map flared back to life, planets spinning lazily across the air. Strange constellations shimmered in colors Earth had no names for. Olivia reached toward it, her fingers trembling like a worshipper touching a relic. "Finn," she whispered, awe thick in her voice. "Do you see this? We can go anywhere, anywhere." He turned to her, and for a heartbeat, he wasn't looking at stars or maps, or alien wonders. He was looking at the woman who had survived 16 days in this impossible cage and still found the courage to dream. The fear, the anger, the sarcasm, they all burned away, leaving something raw and pure in its place. He stepped closer, close, enough to feel her warmth against the cold shimmer of the glass, and said the only thing that mattered. "Show me." Her smile broke like sunlight over water, dazzling and unstoppable. She pressed her palm to the console. Finn laid his hand over hers, and the map exploded into light galaxies blooming like flowers across the void. The vessel shivered. With delight, its voice wrapping around them like a vow. Course selection confirmed. Helixia ascends. The stars stretched, smearing into silver rivers as space warped around them. The hum deepened into a symphony, a song older than Earth itself, resonating in their bones. Finn laughed a wild, breathless sound ripped straight from his soul as the universe opened its jaws and swallowed them whole. He glanced back one last. Time at the fading blue marble of Earth, spinning quietly in the dark. For a flicker of a second, the weight of everything he'd left behind clawed at his chest. Then Olivia's fingers slid between his, warm and sure, anchoring him to this new, terrifying, exhilarating now. "Do you regret it?" he asked, voice low, eyes locked on hers. Her answer was a whisper, soft but fierce as starlight. "How can I regret finding everything I ever wanted?" Finn smiled a real smile this time, wide and unguarded, and pulled her close as the stars bled into brilliant white. The last thing he felt before the jump was her heartbeat syncing with his, and Helixia's steady pulse carrying them beyond the reach of dreams, the end greater than